Things keep getting worse in Gary, Indiana. Now the power is out. They're under a boil water advisory, and it is still over a week, going on 2 weeks, that these residents in Gary have not gotten any power. It is taking a toll on businesses, also disabled residents as well. Let's go ahead and jump into it and get you caught up on what's happening.
I cannot believe no one is over here helping Gary.
Thousands of people in Gary, Indiana have been without power since August 11th.
The National Weather Service informed us that Gary faced the strongest winds, which reached 99 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane.
All the power is out, as far as I know, all across Gary, Indiana.
They're losing food. Homes are getting warmer.
They do not have money, and some of the cards aren't even working. I ran into some ladies that had children, and my heart broke.
My name's Aja, and I'm going on day 7 of having no power in one of Indiana's worst blackouts and one of the highest crime cities in Indiana.
NIPSCO, the company that services 100% of customers in Gary, are now saying that it may be until next Tuesday until many people get power back.
We're on day 9 of no power in Gary, Indiana.
My neighbor across the street, my teacher down two streets down, we have no air in here.
Schools are closed. Families are throwing away spoiled food. People are driving to Illinois just to find ice for insulin.
I am from Gary, Indiana. I was born there, raised there until I was about 8 years old. My family is from there and people still live there. And many people are telling me that they still don't have power. They have trees on top of their homes. One of my cousins sent me this video of a grocery store completely decimated, food spoiled. This is also where the city gave people vouchers to, $150 of vouchers. But this was the only place that they could use the vouchers.
I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. And I don't like it.
Gary, Indiana specifically is also almost 85% Black. That's important.
I think this should be national news. And it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about.
Of y'all been keeping up what's going on in Gary, Indiana, but these people been without power for about 7 days. 7 days. And a lot of people are reporting that the news, nobody not really speaking about what's going on. The crime, everything, okay? So I seen this guy who posted a video, and he goes on to say, he said they've been without power for 7 days. He said finally on the 7th day, they've been thugging it out. He went to get a hotel where they had electricity, they had power. Gets to the hotel, a few minutes later, the power goes out at the hotel. Y'all, what is going on? What is going on in Gary, Indiana? Please, somebody, share, repost, send help. Send help. 7 days, no power. A lot of people don't have no money to be paying for no hotel like that. Y'all, it's wrong for that. I'm going to call y'all back. This is crazy. Bye, y'all.
This morning, tens of thousands of Northwest Indiana residents are still in the dark without power since a wave of destructive storms moved through the area back on August 11th.
Last night, the entire city was pitch black.
The frustration is growing for people like Gary resident Adriana Harris.
Many people don't have generators. A lot of homeowners don't have the things they need for their home.
Indiana residents taking to social media, documenting just how hard everyday life has become without power.
Things just keep getting worse and worse. We are now under a boil advisory.
In Griffith, Indiana, officers have been going door to door doing welfare checks, and angry residents packed a city council meeting demanding power be restored.
I'm diabetic and I have my medicine in a refrigerator.
NIPSCO, the Northern Indiana Public Service Company responsible for power in the area, says they are working around the clock to restore power, but even so, may not have it all restored until next Tuesday.
These are lines that ordinarily take us in systems that ordinarily take weeks or months that we are trying to accomplish in days and or weeks.
And residents also want to see all of this debris cleaned up from their neighborhoods. There are still about 70,000 customers without power. The utility company compares the damage created by last week's storm to a Category 2 hurricane.
Now, for you guys that didn't know, this part of Indiana got hit with a very severe storm. Winds of 99 miles per hour, in which they reported did tons of damage to the electricity grid, the infrastructure. Now, they do have over 600 linemen in the area working on it, but it's just not as easy as just turning on the switch. Now, I know how hard and frustrating it can get because I'm used to going long periods of time without any electricity after hurricanes because I'm from New Orleans, right? And so we have, to deal with that from time to time. And it hasn't been a while, and we're happy. I'm happy, but I can definitely relate to some of the frustrations of what's going on. But the problem is, no one's really including Gary in much literature or even on the company's website. They're just not speaking about what the timeline really looks like for this city alone. Let's just keep watching.
And baby, how come we're not seeing on national news what's currently going on in Gary, Indiana? Apparently, they have been without power for 7 days. Now, I have seen 2 videos here on TikTok where one said it was something to do with a bad, severe storm. 7 days, and baby, we don't see anything about it on the national news. Hello? Can we get those people in Gary, Indiana, some help? And again, why is it that it's not on national news? We have to find out about it on TikTok? People are literally with no power. Do you know how hard it is to be without power? I know I've gone through it before, but to go through this and there's no attention on this subject whatsoever, come on now. Come on now. To the powers that be, baby, we need to get some things happening for the people that are in Gary, Indiana. It's too hot to be without power. And that's the video.
My name's Aja, and I'm still in the dark. I know a lot of people don't like to hear me curse, but things just keep getting worse and worse. We are now under a boil advisory. I was informed by someone at the sanitation district that the longer we don't have power, the less they're going to be able to basically filter and clean the water. So we need to boil everything on the stove with no power.
How we gonna do a food tour in the Midwest and Gary ain't had no power and ain't nobody talking about it? I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. And I don't like it. And if you know me, you know I put my money where my mouth is. So today alone, we've been on the phone with the mayor's office to see if there's ways we can get involved. We've been on the phone with Salvation Army to see if we can get a Salvation Army truck and just drive around and pass out necessities, goods, anything that we can get our hands on. I'm not only making this video to say, if you in Indiana and you know any ways we can get involved, please let me know. I'm also making this video to say, I think this should be national news. And it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about. All the stuff y'all talk about on social media nowadays, everybody got a think piece on everything. Why not a think piece on the fact that communities that look like myself been out with power for 8 days?
Thugged it out through the whole 7 days, and I didn't want to get a hotel because I didn't know how long this was gonna last, and I wanted to save as much money as I could just to, just in case, because you just never know how much money you're gonna need because how long this tragedy gonna go on. So on the 7th day, I finally bought a hotel room, right? It was power. We went where the power was, right? No storm, no nothing. The power went out in here.
If the entire Los Angeles County, we're talking about Compton, Malibu, Hollywood, if all of that had no power, it's all you would hear about. That's all. If the entire metropolitan New York area did not have power right now, there would be nothing else you would be hearing about. But because this is an area with primarily black and brown folk, you barely even know about this.
News is not reaching people. It seems like the only videos that are getting reach are from people who are affected immediately by the situation. For some context, you guys, it's now been 8 days that most of Northwest Indiana has not had any power, and this has caused gas shortages and just closed gas stations due to this event. Gary, Indiana still has no power. Looting is beginning, and they're deploying the National Guard down there.
I feel like they trying to test us. Trying to see how crazy of some crash outs we can get. It's day 8, no power. I'm hearing everything going on. We haven't seen the light flick on a switch in 8 days.
Last night got really crazy. There were a lot of pew pew shots right outside of my door. We actually just heard some coming in. So guess what we did? We went to Bass Pro Shop and got some. Just in case you didn't know, it is pitch black dark still in this house everywhere. Actually, you don't even street a street light, do you?
I live in Gary, Indiana, but it's been over 240,000 people without power. No lights, no Wi-Fi, can't charge your phone. It's women taking cold showers. Everybody's refrigerator's off. It's restaurants closed. My neighbor's been barbecuing meat every night, and his kids outside playing, having fun as fuck in the dark because there's no school.
We are currently day 7, no power. Don't even know when our power is going to be restored at this point because the time keeps changing. But let me show y'all how dark it is. There we go. Completely dark. It's not safe. People are breaking in people's houses and everything.
The only thing that it's weird is that not a lot of people know about this, right? Now, it is trending on some of the social media websites, depending on what kind of information you look for, but not a lot of people know that this is a continuing thing or a thing that has not been fixed so far. We can only keep guessing on when it's going to happen, and it can probably take some time. After big major hurricanes, man, there's no really true timetable at all. When we evacuated for Hurricane Katrina, we didn't even return to almost a year later. In the process, I remember coming back, a few months after Hurricane Katrina, and we had to break down our front door because there was like the water, went as far as like 4 feet high inside the house, and it creates mud, all that water and everything is just muddy and murky. And as everything resides, it just becomes just trapped in together. I remember breaking down the door, trying to see what was left to salvage. I was able to salvage some CDs at the time and a pair of jeans, and that was almost about it. And just so lucky the pair of jeans was just hanging on a hanger, and that was it. And man, the refrigerator was in the living room, the sofa was in the kitchen, so I can only assume as the water rose, everything just lifted up and just started floating around and shifting. It was a very weird and odd experience, but like I said, I can only imagine what has to happen to get all the grid back up and running. It's crazy.
So I'm coming out here to make this video because TikTok has now taken my video down. Here's a screenshot. Has now taken my video down and is not letting me express what is happening in Indiana. We are currently going through a blackout. Indiana is going through a blackout due to a tornado type of storm that happened, I want to say, on the 11th. It is currently day 8, no power. For the ones that was asking in the comments of this video, that is what happened. Indiana had a severe storm. We're currently in a blackout, and we are trying to figure out what is taking NIPSCO, because that hits who our service people are out here at NIPSCO. We are trying to figure out what is taking them so long to provide us back power. Again, I'm not sure why TikTok took this video down, but that is what is happening. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm going to try to reply to as many as I can. Again, I'm not sure if they took it down because there was a GoFundMe link to it, but it's other people doing the same thing. It's other people making videos about this, and I'm not sure if they're flagging their videos too, but everybody needs to be sharing. Everybody needs to be getting the word out. Everybody needs to be saying something, because why the fuck is nobody doing something fast enough? It is families, it is children, it is people without power still to this very second. And TikTok is worried about a video instead of trying to push that video out so that it can get more traction.
Good morning, America. So we are now on day 10, no power in Gary, Indiana, and most of Northwest Indiana. And here is your day 10 update. First off, I just want to say, y'all, I'm sorry if my energy is a bit lower than my other videos. This is This is not something that's fun. This is not something I want to keep reporting on. Like, I'm ready to make my video saying the power is back on for everybody. This is mentally challenging for so many people. People cannot work. People cannot live their everyday lives how they're used to living. And that is mentally shifting. If there is a mental health program, if there is there is some free mental health links, I'm going to link them down below because people need it. This is crazy. As for Gary, Indiana news, Mayor Melton did release yesterday that as for the situation with the NIPSCO truck, they are still investigating it, but I'm not going to speak any more on it until Mayor Melton speaks on it. Like I said, he said it's under investigation. They don't have any clues yet. Let's leave it at that. The YWCA is accepting resources. If anybody wants to send resources, they are doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. They have different caterers catering, so they're not. It's not like they're just giving you bologna sandwiches or hot dogs. Yesterday, Big Daddy's catered them, so that's dope. Mayor Melton also did call out NIPSCO yesterday because they have moved Gary's restoration date from this Friday, August 19th, to next Tuesday. So now a lot of people are not going to have power until next Tuesday. That is a full 2 weeks of not living your life how you used to. Let me also note your girl did do an interview with ABC News Good Morning America, so shout out to them for finally looking at us. I guess the biggest news of day 10 is the world is finally looking at us, y'all. If you haven't seen the news article on ABC News, I'll tag it down below. It is on all my pages. Shout out to y'all for finally looking at us. We appreciate it. Hopefully, y'all can help us out. And that's pretty much it for the day 10 update. I just want to tell everybody you are not alone in this situation. There are people here to help. If you need somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to vent to, if you need just a few dollars, please hit my DM or I will connect you to the right person if I'm unavailable to. But I just want everybody to know you are not alone in this situation. We are the Greater Gary. We are the people. It is most of Northwest Indiana. We need to rally together and not be in competition. Oh, and stop the slander on Keith Lee. That boy did not say when he was coming, and he is coming. So stop it. And he's gonna bring enough resources for all of Northwest Indiana. Let it go. Let it go. Greta Gary.
Well, just over 100,000 people across Northwest Indiana are still waiting for their power to come back on. Those restoration efforts, they were delayed even further after someone fired shots at a NIPSCO vehicle. Our Dane Placo breaks down the storm recovery efforts from around the region.
Last night, we were made aware that there was an incident of gunshots that hit a NIPSCO utility worker's car. Thank God there were no incidents, no one was injured.
Gary Mayor Eddie Melton condemned the attack in a social media post, writing, "Let me be clear, this type of violence is absolutely unacceptable and will not be tolerated in the city of Gary. These crews are here for one reason, to help our residents and restore electricity to families who've already endured days without power." Initially, NIPSCO said it was suspending repair operations in Gary until it could guarantee the safety of its crews, but later said the work is ongoing.
We're ensuring between the Gary Police Department, Indiana State Troopers, and the National Guard, ensuring that as NIPSCO travels through neighborhoods, that safety is paramount.
The sky was green, so we were glad that God helped us and everything.
In South Suburban Lansing, meanwhile, more than 2,000 ComEd customers have been without power since Tuesday. Repair crews working slowly because of all these massive downed trees.
It's on my house, but if it would have fell a little bit to the left, it could have fell on one of my kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful. You gotta take the good with the bad.
Javante Keys says ComEd has told him he needs to remove this tree from his backyard before they can restore his power because it's on his property.
So everything that I'm doing is out of pocket. This is costing me money.
And the city of Chicago is urging residents who suffered damage from this week's storms to document it online by submitting a damage assessment survey with the Office of Emergency Management as they build their case for federal disaster funds.
They take about 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and they ask a series of questions about the level of damage that people may have occurred, the severity of it, how how much money they've spent out of their own pocket already to respond to that damage. And most importantly, we allow people to submit photos of the damage.
You can find the damage assessment survey online at OEMC's website or via the OEMC app. Dowdy says the surveys will help the agency gather the information it needs for Governor Pritzker to request a presidential disaster declaration.
There's only so much we know from 911 and 311 call data, so we really need people to participate. And, frankly, we won't be in a position to apply for federal assistance if we don't have enough information to go on.
Dane Placco, Fox Chicago.
Governor Pritzker believes that the Trump administration is blocking requests for emergency funds from states that are controlled by Democrats, like here in Illinois. The White House denies those allegations.
Wow, you cannot apply for federal assistance. It's insane, man. But one thing that he did mention was something that I know, again, firsthand, going back to some of the storms in our history, come together, for the people that stayed on the same street, what we would do is everybody would just get out and help everybody move limbs, help clear the debris up off the roads, make the roads passable, help each other out. Even if it was everybody brings something to the grill, someone's grilling, everyone's eating, and we're boiling water together in a big old crawfish pot. It was insane, but you got to have that camaraderie, and I'm not sure if that exists there or not, because my time in Indiana, I just dealt with racism there briefly when I stayed in Indianapolis, but I can only imagine like some of the things that these people probably are not used to. Like they might have to help each other get those limbs off the house and clear the debris and work to get some of that cleared up themselves. They're probably thinking somebody's coming to help them, and really is probably not the case, and it's very unfortunate. But I really hope the best for Gary. I'm going to continue to watch some of these clips, and if anything else breaks free, we'll go ahead and make a video about it. So don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.